In studio right now is the mayor of Rome, Jackie Izzo. Good morning. Good morning. So a big announcement came for you guys on Monday, and this seems to be the trend and where you're going and your philosophy. First, talk about Monday.
Well, Monday was a really exciting day for us in Rome. We announced that the former DeWitt Clinton School property would be redeveloped. DePaul Properties from Rochester, New York, an extremely wonderful company, is coming in to do an $18 million 60-unit apartment complex, mid-market apartments, which are very much needed in Rome.
Yeah.
They will unfortunately have to demolish the school. They really wanted to save it, but it's beyond saving. So they're going to build brand new, and it's going to be transformative for that entire neighborhood. I'm really pleased that we could get a project like that in our South Rome district. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a big, big help.
And the plan is because there are some buildings that are eyesores, buildings that are abandoned, and the idea is to get them out of there, I'm assuming,
yes,
so that you can make room for possibly some new investment.
Yes, and in the case of this particular school, when DePaul came to talk to us about a year ago, a little over a year ago now, we just talked about a possible project, and it's funny, we laser focused on that particular piece of property in that school because we really need some help down there. There hasn't been any new development down there in decades, and it's along our canal, so it pushes us westerly a little bit more because we've done so much with canal development, and so it just kind of fits into the whole master plan down there.
Speaking of master plan, yesterday was the state of the city. So what's the goal? How is the state of the city, A, and B, this is always the opportunity to talk about the plans for the future.
Well, I think the state of the city of Rome is much better than it was a couple of years ago. We've made significant progress. We've talked about laying the foundation, and what we mean by that is really going across the city with projects to remove industrial sites, old industrial sites, clean them, remediate them, and then even if we have to leave them green for a while, to let developers know that we're open for business and that we are encouraging them to approach us with projects. And we're actually getting feedback on some of those already, one being the Rome Turney Radiator property. Because of the feedback, we've gotten a $500,000 Restore New York grant over there, as well as a $200,000 EPA grant. We're looking for some more funding, but we're going to put an RFP out there because we feel like we're going to get a proposal that's going to make sense. It's a 3-acre corner on our gateway, and it's just ripe for development, and a multitude of ideas could come there. So we're going to take that approach first and see how we do.
I have Cynthia waiting on the line, and Cynthia is in Rome. And she wants to comment here. Cynthia, good morning. You're on with Mayor Izzo here.
Yes, good morning. My name is Cynthia Wright, and I'm a Churchill relative of Benjamin Wright, who was the chief engineer of the Erie Canal, and he roamed New York. And I'm hoping that the mayor will do some honoring of Benjamin Wright and the festivities that are going to be upcoming for the Erie Canal.
Well, the anniversary coming up here, which is big. And Cynthia, I'll have you hang up and let's see what the mayor has to say.
That would be wonderful, Bill. Thanks very much, dear.
Great hearing from you, Cynthia. All right. And, okay, so?
This year is the bicentennial of the Erie Canal. We are officially recognizing that in Rome on Saturday, July 22nd at Bellamy Harbor Park along the Barge Canal. Mm-hmm. And this will be an official state recognition. So we've been working closely with the State of New York, Canals and Power Authority to present an event that will encompass all that is good about the canal and everything associated with it.
Yeah.
So there will be it'll be a day of entertainment, ending in fireworks. We'll have a lot of other things happening over there, food trucks and activities for kids. And so what we're going to do is, for this year only, this will be the official opening event of Honor America Days, because the following weekend is our normal Honor America Day celebration.
Right.
So we're incorporating this into
back.
this year's Honor America Days.
Got it.
But what we're doing, we've gotten actually 2 state grants to help us down there. We got a $28,500 planning programming grant, we decided to partner with the Rome Area Chamber of Commerce and the Honor America Days Committee to look for this money. And then we got a $97,000 capital grant. So the lasting monument to this celebration will be the lighting of the old General Cable water tower that's at the canal. So that's our plan.
That's big.
Yes, we hope that it will be, and that's kind of been the trend across the country. We worked with Mohawk Valley Edge on this, and we researched. Many communities are leaving those towers as is, but they're lighting them with LED lighting. Yeah, and that's going to be what we try to accomplish with that.
That's awesome. And there is movement, and there seems to be certainly there's a lot of construction going on the airport, on the base.
825.
And but there does one of the things you talked about back in the campaign was connecting the base, the airport, and the business park to the city. And it almost seems like I guess that goes back to the days of the Air Force being in there. That there's it's two separate entities, but now it isn't.
It's not, and I think that sometimes it takes decades to come back from a base closure. For the community has to kind of hit the rock bottom, and I felt like that's where we were in 2015. We were right around there. You can feel ourselves starting to come back, but we have a unique opportunity now to marry the Griffis property to the city of Rome in the Floyd Avenue area, and then over in the Woodhaven, the old Woodhaven housing. That's the next project that's going to step off here pretty quickly. You'll see a lot of demolition. We're going to demolish all of those structures and clear the way for development there. We have a consultant, CT Mail, that is already working on community engagement and developer engagement. They're going to present their findings on May 23rd from 5 to 7 at the MVCC Rome campus. Another community engagement to report back and get some more feedback. So what we're doing is, while the demo's going on, we are developing a plan so that when the development's done, the demolishing is done, the demolition, we will be ready to put an RFP out and start to approach developers. But we are already getting developers contacting us on that site.
Manaski.
To make that a neighborhood again, or is it still to be determined? The Raven, I'm going to say it wrong.
Oh, the Woodhaven.
Woodhaven, yeah.
No,
Woodhaven.
Right. You're
it could be a
right.
movie called The Raven.
Yes.
I could see something there.
Yeah. No, we're looking at a mixed-use commercial residential area. That property, the front of it, fronts Floyd Ave, and the MVCC campus now is right across the street. And then you can walk to the Floyd Avenue side of Griffis, where the new Stewarts will be. Right. On the other side of it is what we call the old Woodhaven Gate, where that takes you near the high school. So what happens here is we could possibly have a housing project where people that work on the park could actually walk or take their bike to work. So it's going to work really well. We have to be smart about this, though. There are gaps in our housing that we need to fill, like we need more luxury apartments, townhouses. We don't have townhouses in Rome. Mm-hmm. We have a real call for ranch-style, 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes, or patio-style homes as well. So we need to be smart about what the developers are going to come in and do. And I'm thinking that we don't want someone necessarily to take all that 100 acres. We need to be very careful now because we've gotten burned a number of times. A developer comes in and says, oh, I'm going to do this, and absolutely nothing happens. So we have to be very careful on this project that we're smart. And this is where we are working with Edge because of the Griffis Properties proximity to this project. Mm-hmm. It's very important that the Economic Development Agency is involved with us here so that we make the very best plan and we involve the city. You know, the city eventually will have to own all of the roads and the infrastructure in Griffis. We own a lot of it now. So this is the natural progression of bringing that back into the city.
How are you going to handle the protests over Stewart's?
protests.
Are there any protests? You mean you're not having protests over a Stewart's opening?
We haven't had
in Rome.
No, we have had no protests.
You mean it's moving smoothly without any? What is going on here? If you
we
recall,
don't want ice cream in this neighborhood.
If you recall,
we're not that kind of neighborhood.
A few years ago, it was a big to do in Utica when they were trying to open a Stewart's. Great shop. They've done a great job wherever they are. I'm from the Valley, so there's Stewart's. I didn't mean to throw you off.
Yeah,
there,
no. We
I'm being sarcastic.
I can see that. Yes,
yeah.
no. We haven't had any of that kind of pushback.
None of that. All right. Well, the vision. So, if you had a vision, which I know you do, that vision is because this takes time. But what's the vision?
The vision is that we want to create a welcoming business environment all across the city, and then, of course, it encompasses Griffis. So that's what we're doing. We are looking for projects that we will remediate and rehabilitate sites, even if they, as I said earlier, even they have to remain green for a while, so that we can open the way for development.
Yeah.
So when people drive into Rome and they're looking around, they see, wow, maybe I could do something over here. Mm-hmm. And it's up to us to find that funding. So that's what we've been working with the state on. Areas like Rome Cable, that has to come down.
Yeah.
It has to be remediated. It has to come down. And we have an $11 billion industry there now in Worthington. That's on their front door. We're very much aware of that. Mm-hmm. We need to, and the west side of the city needs more attention. So we're moving west to east, north to south. The funding that we got a couple of weeks ago, the $1.4 million to extend the Mohawk River Trail, that's very important because that extends it north.
Right.
And so we're going to be going to Wright Settlement next. From there, we hope to go to Lake Delta. But those things are important. We're really building a lot of synergy with these trails all throughout the city. You can go from the Bellamy Harbor all the way to the lake. That's what we're looking at. And kind of with the development, we're looking at that the same way.
Finally, what do you say to, because the reality is, and Utica's the same way, and so many other cities in the Northeast are this way. This isn't the old Rome. The way it's remembered from, during the base days, during the peak days, and it's probably not going to be, right? What is the reinvention?
It's not. There is no true downtown anymore.
Yeah.
We have a corridor that, a James Street over to George. We have that. It's kind of like a square, I like to call it. I think you'll see in the coming years, we may shift toward the Floyd Avenue area, toward the base. That's going to be a hot development area because you've got MVCC, you've got Floyd Ave, we've got 30 acres there. Mm-hmm. You continue on to the base. You've got the whole parcel now where Building 240 was. That's wide open. There'll be a Stewart's there. 825, that's a very important project because that's really going to move the traffic through Griffis. And then you circle around and you're back at Woodhaven. So that's going to become a very important development area to the future of the city.
Okay, very interesting to watch. A lot of stuff happening. And Jackie Izzo, we appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
Mayor of the City of Rome.